What's up, guys? Welcome to my second video about jQuery. So this is the part 2 of the crash course. So in this tutorial, I'll be diving deeper into what is jQuery and then how you can use it. So yeah, let's just get started. So first things first, what you need to know or understand before you start studying or sort of like getting started with jQuery, you need to have a knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Those are the basics. So you need to have a good understanding in such a way that you'll be able to create a form. You'll be able to create a functioning form containing the CSS and then all the dynamic part with JavaScript, such as DOM manipulation. So yeah, now let's just dive straight to it. What is jQuery? jQuery is sort of like a lightweight, we write less, do more JavaScript library. So the purpose of jQuery is to make it much more easier to use JavaScript on your website or on your site, or you just wanna write very simple code that can do much more. So jQuery takes a lot of common tasks that require many lines of JavaScript code to accomplish and wraps them into methods that can call with a single line of code. As you've seen before, to grab what you call an element, we just use a dollar sign and then the brackets and then the codes depending on how we are calling that element. So it's up to you. It's either use a class or an ID or just use the name of the element. So the jQuery library, mostly the features that are there are the HTML, which is the DOM manipulation, and also CSS manipulation. And then we've got event methods on HTML, and then we've got effect and animations, and then we've got Ajax and also utilities. So yeah, so yeah, sorry about that. It's a little bit cold. So yeah, so I told you in the previous video, for you to get started you need to have an index file, which is an normal HTML file that we are creating right now, dot HTML. And then I'm just gonna make use of the boilerplate. If you don't know how I arrived using this using this short code, sort of like shorthand code, you just go to extensions and then just search for HTML and CSS snippet. So it's gonna load. You need data for that. So my network is a little bit rough, but you'll see it. And then you just click on install and then activate. So that is how you're gonna as you can see, I've got express snippet for express. So I'm just trying to look for HTML. So yeah. And also you'll need a live server extension. So please download that also. So yeah, and then I'm just gonna change the title here. If you don't know what I'm doing right now, then you better get started learning HTML first. So just like I showed you before, you need what you call a CDN library. You can just go to cdnjs.com and then type in here jQuery and then press enter, and then it should appear. Okay, so my network is like slow, so I'm just gonna put in the link for jQuery. So as you can see, if you want to just make things a little bit simpler, you can just say cdnjs.com slash libraries slash jQuery. So there you'll find the script, because I've already copied it. I am just gonna paste it right here, the script, because it's loading very slow. And then yeah, and then we just click on the go live button and then we should be live. For now, there's nothing. You won't see anything. So this is how it will load. Just click on copy script tag, and then you'll be having your jQuery CDN, and then just place it on your HTML code. So let's just get back to this part, and then yeah, that's all you need to get started. And then let's go through the jQuery syntax. The jQuery syntax made for selecting like what you call this HTML elements and then performing some action on elements. All you need to have is a dollar sign and then the selector, which is when I'm saying a selector, I'm talking about maybe you are selecting a specific element on your page, so that's what you're gonna use. So let me just type that because sometimes that don't make any sense. So all you need to have, let me just have an h1 here, and then I'm just gonna say like this example, and then below I'm gonna have just a normal script tag. It's up to you. It's either you have a JavaScript file here, or you make use of the element HTML element that enables you to write JavaScript. So that is why you are needed a basic of JavaScript also. So for me to grab this element with the old JavaScript version, all I had to do, I had to say var, and I'm just gonna call this ele, in short for element, and then I had to make use of the document, and then dot query. I'm querying it, and then I always use query selector, and then I have to make use of the class, or in this case I only have only one h1, and then I had to make use of the console dot log, and then I will control the element, right? And then if we go to the browser and then just inspect the element, okay, so my network is very slow, not sure why. So I'm waiting on that. While you are waiting on that, I'm gonna just continue. So for you to make use of this, I'm just gonna say console with jQuery console.log, and then that's where the syntax of jQuery comes in, right? You need to have first what you call a dollar sign, right? And then you need to have bracket, and then on bracket it must be a string, right? Which means it's either double quotes or single quotes. And then what you need is a selector. When I'm saying a selector, it's either you are using what a class or an ID or just a normal element. So I'm just gonna make use of h1 because there's only h1, and then because this returns an array of all the h1s in our elements, so I'm just gonna index the element that I want to grab, which is the first one, right? Let me just check my network right here. um you see the jQuery is not loading, so that's why it's taking a little bit longer. So usually when it's behaving like this, I will go to YouTube and then sort of like play a video in background mode. um So yeah, so please bear with me. So as you can see, there's no response. But if you can check the headers, I am grabbing or everything there. So as you can see, it says it failed. There's failed to load response. So as you can see, it's in red. So yeah, for now it says example. But let's go to console. As you can see, it did work for HTML inline around. So this worked, right? And then let's just comment this out, and then after commenting that out, it's gonna take a little bit to load. go to network. uh, Come on, come on. Okay, so this time it did load. So if you go to the console, as you can see, this is the initial one, and then for us to have the second one, I'm just gonna delete that and then go to the browser. And then as you can see, I've got two H1s, so that's how you would make use of that. For you to see that there is a difference between the first one and the second one, I am just going to remove this, the indexing, and then go back to the browser. And then you can see this one returns the actual H1, right? And then this one returns, it has a length property, and then as you can see, the length, it's only one. We've got the first index, which is 0. So yeah, this is how you would make use of that. So yeah, that is the syntax of jQuery. That is how you would work with it. So yeah, and then yeah, you can go crazy, guys, if you have like sort of like many heading text. You can add the class, um and then I'm just gonna say this is one. So I'm just gonna duplicate this so that you can see the difference with these two. So I'm just gonna make use of that, and then make use of that, and I'm just gonna remove the class for these two and leave them like that. So let me just remove JavaScript for us so that you can see in terms of how that would output. So do do you think this will output three of them, and then also this one three? Why? Because we only said h1, which is the name of the element, right? If you go to the browser, boom, yeah, and then as you can see, this is sort of like h1, and then the dot is for a class, which is dot one, right? So as you can see, the length is 3, the first index is 0 as usual, and then 1 2, and then that's how you would work with that. And then also this one. Now that's where the classes come handy in, right? That's when we make use of the dot sign, and then I just have to target the class. And then if you go to the browser and then view this, as you can see, the length is only 1. It's no longer 3 like this one, it's only 1, because we reference the one with the class. So that is how you would work with that. So this is very much easy, guys. jQuery, especially if you are coming from the what you call the JavaScript background, it's gonna be very much easy to grab that. So in terms of the syntaxing, yeah, that's all you need to just remember, is to make use of the dollar sign and everything, and then yeah, and then you'll be fine. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and then in the next tutorial I'll be talking about events in Java, in jQuery. Sorry about that, in jQuery. So peace, yeah.